Hey there everybody, it's Mark Crilley. I'm back with another video. This is part 2 in my ongoing series of videos showing my artwork from college. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out some of the other videos in the series. And this is a study that I did of a great painting by the French painter Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres. Pardon my terrible French accent. I believe the painting is called The Portrait of Madame Rivière. And I was doing all kinds of these studies, careful copies of paintings, drawings by the great masters, generally speaking the great European masters, trying to learn what I could from them. And as I always say, it is something I recommend to other people seeking to improve their drawing skills. Doing copies like this can teach you almost everything you need to know about drawing. Let's go ahead and check out something else I did back in college. In addition to doing drawings of the old masters, I was doing studies of facial expressions, like this one. Can't remember exactly the source of this. It was not like a drawing of somebody that I knew. I wish I could say it was. Yeah, this is this guy that I knew. Oh man, the facial expressions that he had. No, it's copies from a book of either photographs or drawings, just trying to learn for my own purposes how the various facial expressions are conveyed. And again, I would highly recommend undertaking studies like this. Throughout college, it was all about that for me, just sort of feeding my artistic brain day after day with drawings of this sort. So this is a poster design that I came up with for the school production of a play called The Shadow Box by Michael Christopher. And the play focuses on death and dying and coming to terms with that. So I came up with this illustration that sort of hid a skull inside, or not really hid it. I mean, it's pretty easy to see once you see it. But guess what? They did not like this design, and I had to go back to the drawing board and come up with something else. So I learned not only about art, but also about rejection, which is, arguably just as important in the schooling of a young artist. In a recent video I talked about the importance of drawing from life, and indeed I did quite a lot of that back in college. This was probably in like a theater class, I think, and I was looking around at fellow students and doing sketches. Certainly highly recommended for those of you who want to get better at anatomy, at poses, at being able to draw people in a way that has them looking relaxed and natural rather than stiff. As I always say, no need to try to draw everything from memory. There is absolutely nothing wrong with looking, either at photographs or ideally at real life, to make sure that you're getting the details right. College was for me a time of artistic experimentation, where I was really sort of challenging myself to find new ways of drawing to sort of break with the past. And here you see a sort of attempt at a fisheye lens effect, or really just sort of warping everything that I saw. I think it's valuable to push yourself in new directions, and it's fun just to try new things. Certainly worth a try if you feel like you're sort of stagnating and doing the same type of drawing over and over again. Now, this is not related to drawing, but I thought some of you might get a kick out of seeing me studying Chinese. Right after I graduated from college, I went to Taiwan, and before that departure, I wanted to learn how to at least read and write a little bit in Chinese. And so I found a teacher who was really just a fellow student at school, I think, who taught me a little bit. Kind of funny to think these were the first 5 characters. 我是美国人, the first 5 characters I ever learned. I am American. And for those of you who can read in Chinese, it might be kind of amusing. This is the equivalent of, a child, basically, trying to learn how to write words for the first time. Here's a pen and ink caricature drawing I did of Jack Nicholson. Caricatures is not something that I've done very much of. I know some people are really, really good at it. I don't necessarily have the skill or the interest, frankly, in doing it, but I did 1 or 2 of these types of drawings back in college, just to see if I could learn the skills. And who knows, if you'd like, I could try to do a video about how to draw caricatures. Of course, I'd better learn how to do it first myself. But let me know. Maybe we can come up with something in that regard. This is a poster design that I came up with for a student production of Fear and Misery of the Third Reich by Bertolt Brecht. And this central image, I think, comes from an actual Nazi propaganda poster from World War II. It is, of course, a strongly anti-Nazi play, just to be clear. But we wanted to sort of create a bold, memorable image that put across the kind of vibe of that time period, and I enjoyed the just the simplicity of it. Sometimes the something crawling with detail is not what you need. Sometimes you need just a real bold, memorable image. Note that all of this lettering is by hand. It's back in the days before we were using computer fonts, and let me tell you, we were all real glad when computer fonts came along and you didn't have to do all this by hand anymore. And finally, here is a study that I made of artwork by the great German artist Käthe Kollwitz, and I wanted to sort of use this as a way of pointing out, sometimes I hear from people who say, how can I make my lines more smooth and graceful? My lines are all scratchy looking and sort of ugly looking to me. And yeah, of course, through practice and effort, you can get smoother lines, but I wanted to point out that it's not always necessary. These drawings sometimes are composed of very scratchy lines that are not beautiful in and of themselves, but by building them up one on top of the other, you can create a beautiful effect. So, how do you like that? From ugliness, we can create beauty. Whoa, that is deep, man. That is so deep. Well, clearly it's time for me to wind down this video. Yeah, I think I definitely have enough to make at least one, maybe two more videos in this series of my college artwork. But for now, let's go ahead and wind it on down. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with another one real soon.